Good afternoon, all. My name is Dr. Rahul Borude, and I'm here with Dr. Sanjay Borude. We both are practicing pediatric surgeon, and we've been associated with pediatric surgery since the birth of it, since in India's 20 years ago. Today, we'll be discussing childhood obesity and the consequences of it in our country and in the world. So basically, I'll start off with what is obesity. In layman's term, and to oversimplify, what obesity is excess body fat. When one individual is overweight to his peers and his colleagues, his or his colleagues, they are considered overweight. General measurement of tool in the world is BMI. However, now there are multiple other issues which are factored in and are taken into consideration. But today we'll be just focusing on childhood obesity. WHO in 2015 recognized obesity as a global pandemic. Um, Obesity not in even just in our country, in such a developing country, but in developed countries is considered as a pandemic, epidemic pandemic. Um, Recent studies as early as 2019 showed 34 percentile of the world are overly obese or morbidly obese. Um, Children now are the future, and we have to be careful about how they are brought in and nurtured in our life in the future. So, childhood obesity is a very complex health issue. It should be taken under huge consideration. How do you define a child obese? There is no as such tool for it. It is basically an observational tool. If you see a child who's overweight to his friends or his social circle or to his colleagues, that a child would be considered as obese. Now, how does how does one child become obese? So we'll be going over our causes, primarily the causes of childhood obesity and the treatment hereafter. I will ask Dr. Sanjay Borude, who's been dealing with childhood obesity since the last 20 years and specializes in it, to basically get us through of how to tackle childhood obesity from the birth and thereafter.
Yep. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Sanjay Bordyaji just now introduced. So, childhood obesity is a big global problem. It's not only the first world country; it is the even the third world country faces childhood obesity. We see so many times when we go visit cinema theaters, restaurants, we find obese children. We go to high-end, schools, expensive schools. Also, we see a lot of obesity. We had conducted a survey in Navi Mumbai in two different socioeconomic uh, classes of schools, and we found no obesity in a poor socioeconomic class, provided it was higher. The numbers were in higher socioeconomic schools. Broadly, we differentiate the causes as children below the age of 10 and children above the age of 10. Children below the age of 10, they mostly have genetic and hormonal causes, while along with the genetic and hormonal causes, the added factor is lifestyle disease also. So, what are the hormonal causes and how we can control them? Like there are different hormones. Like if you ask me really, there are about 19 different hormones which have been found out so far. But primarily the growth hormone, which is actually the hormone that we require for the metabolism, and this lack of growth hormones gives a slow metabolism. Then there is another one is the leptin hormone, which is secreted by the fat cells. And this leptin hormone controls the appetite and that deficiency of leptin or deficiency of leptin hormone receptor, that can cause obesity in children. And the last one is insulin resistance, and that triggers the uh, this obesity in the young children. So another aspect of children obesity is genetic factor. Now there are different genetic factors. Just to simplify, it is one gene or multiple genes. So one gene, that means a monogenic syndrome, while multiple gene is polygenic syndrome. And there are another one which is a syndromic obesity, what we call there. So it has got some neurodevelopmental problems. So these are the broad classification where we see children obesity. We have had occasion of treating few which were leptin receptor anomalies, then MC4 anomalies, and so on. So as Dr. Rahul just now mentioned about the how do we see and deduce to what obesity, what grade of obesity the child is suffering from. Here, unlike in adults, we have a percentile. Below about fifth percentile, we have children who are malnourished or below that line. 95th percentile is something which is normal healthy child. Above 95th percentile, and as the peers, we call them the obese children, and more than 125th is called as severe obesity in children. So how do we diagnose them? So just looking at the person, that child, we can diagnose them. So another important is taking a proper history. These children, they eat more. We call it hyperphagia. Then these children, they have associated endocrinological problems. That is important. The most important in children obesity below the age of 10 is the consanguinity of marriage. The parents. Most of the time, these parents are closely related and like cousins, cousin brother and sisters, that we see normally in Muslim families, and we have seen children obesity rampant in those communities in say in Pakistan. Then we go ahead with the investigation. Apart from normal hematology and biochemistry, we get some specialized investigations like leptin hormone receptor, then melanocortin R receptors, and so on. There is one particular thing is Prader-Willi syndrome that is from the birth. It's a congenital one, and then it starts showing up the bad effects of those genes and the hormones later on in the life. So now we have seen so much of the participation of so many causes. So the management becomes difficult. Now you'll ask me a child with genetic abnormality. How are we going to treat that? There is no treatment anywhere in the world where we can change our genes. But the working of genes is on the hormonal pattern of our that particular child. So there is something called as um, we multi-factorial, multidisciplinary approach. So with the multidisciplinary approach means we start from the behavioral changes and the children's habit, and that's how we go ahead. So like there is lifestyle change that is primarily important because we don't recommend any medical line of treatment or surgical line of treatment in the beginning of the children obesity. So there are there are so many factors which are there in this children's lifestyle. Now, if you take any one child in the 24 hours of that child's life. About 8 hours the child is at home. Next 8 hours can be that same child can be at school, and the next 8 hours the child either sleeps or plays in the community. So this is very important thing that one should see. So there are some obesogenic environmental things that they should be considered. If the parents are obese and if they are not, careful about the family lifestyle, and they don't consider obesity much in their life, then definitely in such with this such parent with poor diet and exercise habits, their children also can become obese. The special those screen times, those watching television, playing games, and all these factors they play a very big role in children's life. In India, we see a joint family earlier on, but now, few years now, where the children obesity is on the rise, we have started seeing nuclear family. Both the parents working, and they have not been, go and taken care of. The children, what we recommend is the families where we have the children who are eating with the parents. That is the best thing. Children eating alone is not at all a good idea, because then they have scopes to order some, junk food very
Overeat,
easy.
they overeat as well.
Overeat as well. And it is so simple for them to call for a junk food. And there are very easy means, just pick up a phone and call for the food. Secondly, we should, as uh, conscious parents, we should involve our children in cooking also. So children basically they lack what are calories. Like if all my viewers, I would maybe I would say that whenever we were small, have we ever thought about what I am eating and how many calories there were? We have never, and as a child they never think about, or they never calculate their calorie content. Okay, suppose a child who is in the best of the environment where there is no obesogenic environment, both the parents are very conscious about their health and weight. But when such a child that goes to the school, and if the school doesn't have that kind of environment similar, uh, and if they have obesogenic environment, they are unhealthy foods in their lunches, and if they are very accessible to the vending machines. So our child who is good at home can become bad at school. So even our promotions to school children and their school parents. So we advise them to follow the good healthy food habits in the school premises also. Another important thing, that most of the schools in urban cities they lack uh, sporting activities. They lack the playgrounds in the school campus. So again, there is an issue. Even if they have physical training classes in the school premises, but they are the most of the time they are sit down uh, classes. We do not have those physical sports in schools. Thirdly, the last part of this, community. Suppose your child is good at home, good at school, but when the same child goes to the community playing, and if they are offered a chocolate or some junk food, the child will definitely like, because all the junk food and the chocolates, all these, all the children are tempted towards that. So even there also we have to take care. Now, when we talk about this obesity, why are we so much worried? Lot of people in families that they consider my child is a chubby child, and chubby are the healthy, but it is wrong. All chubby children may not be healthy, and that can lead to many diseases like cardiovascular diseases in children, even to that matter, diabetes we have found in children. They have asthma, they have sleep apnea, then these children may have joint issues, they have their organs like liver, gallbladder will have their problem. Most importantly, these obese children have psychological issues. And then those psychological issues give them low self-esteem and lot of social problems. They wouldn't like to socialize in with other children because they are at that stage where the peers would keep, teasing them, and even then they're so that self-esteem that goes down. So that morale of those children, they always go
On the
to
low.
on the low. So how do we manage these children? Because the management should be starting with diet, exercise. This is primary. So have them psychological training. And we don't restrict only to children in that case, but even the parents, the teachers, wherever those society members, they also needs to be informed about children obesity. If at all, if this conservative line of treatment that fails, then we have some medical line of treatment. We have some injection leptins. Then we have some few drugs. But this most of these drugs and the medical line of treatment has side effects. If the child doesn't get well with this, then we post them for bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgeries have given the best of the results in shorter period of time and made these children free from getting their end organ disease. So, how does this affect in a genetic or a hormonal obesity? Now, this was proved lately in 2017 also. There's something called as epigenetics in the that is a study of the how the environmental factors that can change the way of life, in children. So currently known epigenetic mechanisms, they have like their alteration of DNA methylation and their stone modification, meaning their genetic factor that affects your hormone. It is, stopped before that would cause a major problem. We have seen, we have our association, global association, our national associations also have found that there are very good results which are seen by uh, as a cocktail of treatment. Now we class them their obesity as a child who's obese, just obese, and who's above the 95th percentile. We call them as class 1 obesity. The child who's more than 120% above that percentile, 95th percentile, and with some problem, mild problem, we class it as class 2 obesity. And child who's above 140 percentile and with medical issues, and they are termed as class 3. Now, our societies, the global societies, have given the guidelines, which were as late as 2018. So those guidelines have uh, shown over vast studies that bariatric surgeries help the children. They make this, even they work very well in the cognitive disabilities, meaning their mental illnesses, eating disorders also are uh, taken care of by these metabolic surgeries. So there are definitely there are so many papers where shown the bariatric surgery is safe and effective in this after the metabolic surgery. There are different racials and ethnic factors. They are also taken care of, and these adolescents they get lot of benefits after bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgery controls their high blood pressure, their diabetes, their breathing problems, and most importantly, they bring up their morale very high. They just start socializing, so that self-esteem is already taken care of. There are many studies which promote this, and the quality of life of that particular obese child can be the best after this. So my take-home message to all of you here is that well, not all the obese children are healthy, so you should not. And this obese child, that fat child, cannot become fat just alone. We are also equally responsible, as I said earlier, from home, from school, and from community level. So every child is, can be detrimental either to they themselves, their family, their city, their state, their nation, country, and globally also. Because one thing is, everybody will appreciate that this every child is our future. So please take care of your children. Don't allow them to become obese by teaching them what are calories and what they do actually to. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask us. Me and Dr. Rahul, we are here specialized doctors to treat children obesity. I thank you, SL Raja Fortis Group, to have this awareness program and pass it on maximum